hosting Bali Democratic Forum. And now I am with Pakistan Foreign Minister, His Excellency Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. Welcome to Bali. Thank you so much for the opportunity to having discussion with Media Group Network. Mr. Bilawal, please tell us more about Pakistan participation in Bali Democratic Forum and what does Pakistan hope to share and discuss?
So I'm very pleased to be participating in the Bali Democratic Forum and represent my country here today. Pakistan has a long history in struggling to enhance our democracy in our democratic space, so I'm proud to be representing Pakistan's democracy at this forum today.
Bilawal, you know that the world is facing economic challenges this year and many more challenges are projected next year. Mr. Bilawal, in your view, what is needed most to uphold stability, peace, and democratic principles in such economic challenging time?
I think, unfortunately, the world is faced with one crisis after another. We've seen a once in 100 years global pandemic, and then we saw the crisis in Ukraine, which has had, because of the sanctions and other things, a global economic impact. And at the same time, we've been witnessing how climate catastrophes across the globe have been raging at a scale that we've never seen before, causing insurmountable sort of economic loss and damage. A case in point would be Pakistan's floods earlier this year. So in that context, we are all facing difficult economic times, and difficult economic times often pose challenges to societies, sometimes bring out the worst in us, because they are politicians within societies or on the global stage that thrive of the politics of division, of the politics of hate, of the politics of narrow, populist authoritarianism. And it is now up to a new generation, I think, of Democrats to rise to meet the challenges posed to democracy. Disunity and division with the politics of unity. We will defeat the politics of hate with the politics of hope. And we will defeat the politics of fiction with the politics of truth. And I am very confident that we will overcome the political challenges, strengthen our democracies, and empowered democracies can meet economic challenges as well.
Mr. Bilawal, any recent MOU that Pakistan and Indonesia signed recently?
We just today signed a document, an MOU, to establish a joint ministerial commission. Myself and the foreign minister of Indonesia have signed an MOU to establish a joint ministerial commission, will allow us to engage and enhance our bilateral ties. I look forward to being able to hold the first inaugural session of that with your foreign minister.
Following up your discussion with Minister Retno Marsudi in August, what are Indonesia and Pakistan cooperation to boost women's rights and empowerment?
So, as on the issue of women's rights or women's empowerment are important for all of us. Your government has this on a high priority, and your foreign minister has been leading on this issue, and she's hosting us here today, not only for the Bali Democracy Forum, but also on the sidelines for women's empowerment and women's education. We in Pakistan also believe that women's empowerment is a cornerstone of any progress in society. We're very proud of the fact that Pakistan is the first country, the first Muslim country to have a female prime minister, and we encourage women's rights, women's empowerment, women's education within Afghanistan and within Pakistan and internationally as well, and look to work with partners like your foreign minister and other like-minded foreign ministers across the world to enhance opportunities for women.
As we know that Pakistan is the largest number 2 Muslim population countries, how can Indonesia and Pakistan further cooperate, especially in the context of Organization of Islamic Cooperation?
I mean, within the IOC on a multilateral level, but also on a bilateral level, Pakistan and Indonesia should be cooperating a lot more than we do. I believe for the largest Muslim country and the second largest Muslim country, our economic ties, our bilateral ties have a whole lot more potential that need to be unlocked. While we imagine the sort of the collective strength of the first and the second largest Muslim countries working together on any issue. You pick an issue, unite our populations. I believe that the sky's the limit, and there's a lot that we can achieve. There's even economic potential, bilateral economic potential between Pakistan and Indonesia that's yet to be unlocked. I'm very keen to exploring ways and means to enhance not only our economic cooperation, also people-to-people contact between our two people. But then, of course, it is important to coordinate on international forums and multilateral forums, such as the OIC, the ASEAN forum, which Indonesia is going to be chairing, has just taken over the chairmanship of the United Nations, the G77, where Pakistan is the chair at the moment. There's a lot of scope for us to enhance our cooperation.
We know, Mr. Bilawal, terrorism is one of the problems that exists in the world. How can Indonesia and Pakistan further cooperate in security and the fight against terrorism?
And we have our own experiences on combating extremism and terrorism, and I'm sure there's a lot for us to learn from each other's experience. But also, I believe that we can partner together in countering the hatred, the division at the root of this extremism and terrorism that leads to the rise of Islamophobia internationally as well. So I believe on the issue of extremism and terrorism, there's lots of areas for us to cooperate, and on the issue of Islamophobia, Indonesia and Pakistan should work together.
As we understand, Afghanistan acting foreign minister has promised to find perpetrators of the recent tragic attack on the Pakistani embassy in Afghanistan. High-level talks were also prior to that. What effort will be made between Pakistan and Afghanistan to ensure security and counter terrorism?
So there is absolutely our Minister of State, Hina Rabbani Kar, was in Afghanistan. She led our delegation to meet their ministers over there. They had a very productive, meaningful engagement around a whole host of issues. But the most important for us is the issue of terrorism. No one wants Afghanistan to become a hotbed or a launching pad for terrorist attacks in the region or anywhere else. And we are hopeful that the new one-year-old government, interim government in Afghanistan, will not only address the issue of terrorism and provide security, because that is a fundamental prerequisite for peace and prosperity. And we all want to see a peaceful, prosperous, and progressing Afghanistan.
As we understand, high-level talks were also recently held. What does the future hold for the Pakistan and Afghanistan relations?
So, Pakistan and Afghanistan are forever joined. We are neighbors out of geography, and no matter what happens, we will always be neighbors. We will always be together in that sense. It is therefore in my own interest, it is in my country's interest, that Afghanistan is a peaceful country, that Afghanistan is a stable country, that Afghanistan is a prosperous country. If all those things are true, then that means that I won't have to worry about a massive exodus of refugees, which we just talked about the economic climate. It's very difficult. I won't have to worry about terrorism and associated threats, and it would mean economic opportunities for the people of my country as well as the people of Afghanistan, because we're neighbors. I'm very hopeful that whoever is in charge in Afghanistan, that they're successful in providing these things to their people, so that we can engage with them in a more meaningful manner. The world can engage with them in a more meaningful manner. We're all sick and tired of war and conflict. One generation after another have gone through one war or another in Afghanistan, be it during the time of the Soviets, the recent forever war in Afghanistan. So now we're hoping to be able to look at a more stable and more peaceful Afghanistan. But we can only support or engage. Ultimately, the fate of the people of Afghanistan lies in the hands of the people of Afghanistan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bilawal, for your time and for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.